Okay. Thank you for coming, everyone. My name is Frank Panetti. I am a librarian with the main library in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And today, as you can hopefully see on your shared screen, it's a presentation called Lead Generation for Small, Medium, and Big Companies. And just by way of intro, again, I'm Frank, and I represent a co-working space we have in the Fort Lauderdale main library here. So if you're in the Fort Lauderdale metro area, feel free to stop by. It's a free co-working space on the seventh floor of the main library. We've been going for about 6 years. And especially during COVID, we've tried to pivot to doing more online events. We have great speakers such as Patricia, who's just going to start talking in a few minutes. But if you have an area of expertise you'd like to talk about and get hosted by the library and get a little promotional juice through the library's marketing channels, feel free to get in touch with me, and we'll talk about hosting your own talk if you like. And I'm going to throw some links in a few minutes as Patricia's talking, my links, her links, and a survey link so you can give feedback at the end. Um, but again, that's what we are. And Patricia Monica Ojeda, who is going to be talking in a few minutes, is a senior management consultant in technology marketing and operations. And beyond that, she also has an MBA in strategic planning, and she holds 26 certifications, including PMP, management consulting, information security, coaching, and design thinking. I think I said that all in one breath, so I probably should have put a few pauses in there, but that's who she is. She's an expert in social marketing and social selling, and today she's going to give you some easy to use sources in lead generation. And you're also going to receive some information about the top 10 tools for lead generation and learn how to work with platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Discord, Reddit, and maybe a little about what we were just talking about, the new kid in the block, TikTok. And finally, you'll be introduced to CRM, customer relation management tools, and others like Data Axle, which used to be Reference USA. And most of these tools are free. Some like Data Axle, you get through the public library here. If you don't have a public library account, just email me, and I'll put my email address in the box, and you can get a free e-card to our library system and use databases like Data Axle for free, pretty much from wherever you are. So again, I'm going to be popping some things into the chat box, and if you have any questions, please just put them in the chat box, and please address it to everyone. And I'll pass it along one way or another to Patricia, and she's going to have a special guest also who I'm seeing popping in here now, and she will tell you all about him. He's our HubSpot guru, and she'll give you a
You
lot better
can see
information than I can
Martin.
on him. And there he is waving. I don't happen to have a webcam in my little library cubicle here, so you got to just depend on my voice, and I'm going to duck out anyway in a minute or so anyway. So I feel like you didn't need to really see my library face, but I will be here in spirit and in the chat box. And again, feel free to just put any messages in the chat box, and I will send them along. And we'll do a little. Hopefully, we'll have a little time for Q&A at the end also, if you want.
Okay.
And
So
so
have you pressed
now,
the record button? It's already there.
yep.
Uh,
Let's
Perfect.
see if I hover over it. Yep, it says recording in progress. So
Okay,
I
perfect.
did
Thank you.
something right today anyway. At least I started the recorder the right way. So now I'm going to turn it over to Patricia,
Thank
and
you.
thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Martin. So I'm gonna do the introductions in a minute. Today, the idea today is first of all, we are going to do lead generation for small, medium, and big companies. My name is Patricia Monica Ojeda. I'm gonna give you a quick introduction about what I do, and I would like to know what you guys do as well. Um, we have the idea today is go through the different points of definition and activities and social media outlets that where you can get the lead generation. And then we are going to have my friend, my colleague, and a guru, grow guru, Martin Angeletti, who is now, are you in Malaga now?
No, now I'm in Sevilla,
Oh my goodness. Okay,
but
I
I
love
was.
Martin because Martin is traveling all the time, and it's really a nomad, a professional nomad. So let's start.
Yeah.
The content for today is going to be introduction and GPS. We are going to talk about definitions, lead generation, source and tools. We are going to do a recap, a wake up call, and then I'm going to tell you what is next. And I'm going to go straight with Martin to talk about CRM powered one of his areas of expertise, which is called Spot, which is one of the most used and recognized CRMs in the market today. So let's move forward. As you can see, I'm bilingual, English and Spanish, with extensive experience and business and training in both languages. Um, Frank already told you that I'm a management consultant in marketing operations and technology, have a collection of certifications and skills. And one more thing, I'm cancer free, and I'm very happy to announce that because after that's fine. A special journey. I was declared cancer free last week, and I'm very excited to let you know about that. I love walking. I love the sunrise at the beach, and I would like to know where are you now located. Please say two things: who you are on the chat box, who you are. Don't be shy, Brian. Okay? Where are you located? Because it's very important for us to know the reach of our communication campaign and what you do. Let me see. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Without further ado, we're going to continue with the presentation. Definitions. Definitions. First of all, we have to define who is our potential buyer, okay, or customer. That is very, very important. Oh, Gillian, are you in Seattle now? Wow. Wow. Perfect. So this is very important. I know that many of you are driving right now, so I'm gonna read the first paragraph of the definition, and then you're gonna read the rest if you go to the recap of the presentation. A buyer persona is a model of the customer you wish to serve. What that means? Everyone is buying lead generation. Everyone wants to grow the company. Everyone wants to do things. Everyone wants to know. This is very special. So lead generation is where we are going to get the potential client or customer, and that is our buyer persona. What is the behavior? What is uh, what drives that person to buy? Many things. So first of all, define the buyer persona, the customer profile. Then the other thing that we want to make you aware that when we talk about lead generation, sometimes there is a confusion. Lead generation is coming from marketing, it's coming from sales, it's for sales and marketing. Let me tell you something. It's for everyone. Lead generation is not just for marketing or for sales. It's for the company. So everyone has to be aware. And the lead generation process, depending on the area and the product, might be have a little twist. If you are just doing marketing online, marketing the sales is a different way to do sales. If we have a digital product, it's a different thing. It doesn't matter if you're a small, medium, or big company. That is very important to have in mind how we are going to work. And at the end of the day, you're going to have a sale. This is something that was very interesting that when I was doing my research, I found out that HubSpot make a survey um, with between 60 to 100 sales personal marketing professionals, and they found that the only 26% of them were aligned on sales service level agreements. More so, the highest quality leads are either referrals or sourced directly by the salespeople. That is very interesting, Martin. So it's super interesting that information from HubSpot because means that we are still in not in the digital products. But in the business world, we're still working on the referral. And this is super interesting. Then let's talk about what is lead generation. Define the lead. Lead is a person, business who has shown interest in your product or service. Who has shown interest might be because we did a marketing campaign, or maybe because we have a lead capture and the person fill out the form on our website. So it's an interest to move forward to have more information about what we do or what we offer. That is very interesting. Then, what is lead generation? Lead generation is the initiation of consumer interest of inquire into a product or service of a business. If imagine it's like a funnel, we have a big bag with a lot of potential clients, with a lot of interest and activities and names and emails. Now we have to define what we are going to do. See, lead generation. We are going to use a lead capture. We are going to do some certain kind of engagement. Depending on your product or service, you have to be creative in the engagement and match the potential client or consumer with the opportunity. There is not a there is not a magic one, and there is not a button to press that I have the lead generation, I have a client immediately. No, it's not a. This if you are looking for that, this is not the webinar for you. Okay. So it's interesting that sometimes I have attendees looking for the holy grail. In the lead generation, it's a lot of work, but it's a very interesting work, and we learn a lot. At the end of the day, the conversion means a lot of money because it's a client for our company. So lead capture, engagement, opportunity, conversion. Conversion is the final step in the process. The final step in the process, which is very interesting for all of us. Let's talk about lead generation sources and tools. We have for a small and medium business the basics SEO. Usually, if you want to do free SEO, you have Google, Google My Business. Then you have the regular blog. You can do a blog, um, be a guest post on different websites. Also, one is interesting is be a guest in different podcasts. The people who run create podcasts, they are looking for always for interesting guests. Then you have the investment part. You can invest and run a paid search ads, do the social media ads, run native advertising. Native advertising usually is related with your vertical market. There are newspapers, there are newsletters, there are magazines. Yes, still there are magazines. And the people in the different vertical markets, they have the magazine for the association. You can pay for to have a advertisement there. That is very interesting to do, and always to be a referral. It happens that usually my clients are coming by referral. I usually do a communication, and then I have a huge network of colleagues and friends and clients that refers another client. Big companies. Big companies is totally different environment. Why? Because we have business enablers, we have marketing people. There is a lot of components that help you to close arrive to the conversion. Okay, but let's say that I used to work for Microsoft. Microsoft have a collection of different kind of products and services. Not every client that buys cloud computing is the same client that buys Office 365. Not the same. No, it's not the same person, the same buyer in the corporation that buys Office 365 and then buy the software, or buy product from LinkedIn, which is another sub product from Microsoft Corporation. Big companies also send cold emails, but they definitely know that the success is not the email. The success is the person from the other company picking up the phone when I call them to get the appointment, to get my meeting with them. That is very important. Big companies use marketing automations to nurture leads. They send newsletters, they send a lot of information that you could do as a small and medium company. Small and medium company, you can do it as well with the right CRM tool. Okay, you can nurture your leads if you have a good blueprint. You've built a blueprint on the CRM tool, and you can send emails or do one calls or do a lot of chat with your already client and nurture your lead as well. There is a recent study that says that 22% of Reddit users are aged between 18 and 29. Why I'm saying this? Because we are going to the source of the lead generation, and in the source of the lead generation, we have a lot of interesting information, like the internet users. Um, if the in the tool are more men or women, let's say that Reddit is mainly 70% are men. Then we have the 50% users are coming from the United States. The rest are coming from the rest of the world. Um, Usually happen in Reddit, because I'm talking about Reddit because it's one of the lead generators that I'm going to talk in a few seconds. Usually happen in 47% about the 47% of users of Reddit are people who is online all the time. So be very aware about the tool that the source that you are looking for. Let's talk about source. Where can I get, from where I can get a lot of um, leads, leads, mainly networking events. That is the best way. I know that we have been the last 2 years, we have been working online all the time. And we are social animals. And we get more the energy and the vibe of the different things with the client, the potential clients, when we see the person in person. But networking events are also virtual, so you can go virtually to the networking events and get potential clients and generally training sessions. Training sessions are ideal if you have an open space. You can get leads from training sessions. LinkedIn, ideal place if you're looking for. It's very funny because these days one of the things that I have in my profile that I'm a coach. I guess I have been receiving in the last 2 months about 20 invitations of lead generation professionals for coaching. And as soon as I said yes to the connection, I received a letter of with the service. We don't know if it works, if it don't work. There is no nurture of the potential lead. It's just, okay, this is my service, take it or leave it. This is very interesting to know. Instagram. Instagram is a place to get leads as well. Facebook. What is working today are community groups. Community groups are amazing, depending on your product or service. If you have a digital product, and because the 80% of the population who is working on the groups on LinkedIn, on Facebook are women, digital products on that groups and coaching are working very well. Working very well. Different kind of coaching. Usually the most um, welcome on the women groups diet, how to take care of your kids, how to work with your psychology. It's very interesting what is going on there. Discord. Discord is not the new kid in the block, but it's something there. But still, you have to promote your brand, and build a business-specific community. If you are trying to do something, just going into the different communities and go ahead and offer your service without the participation, you're gonna get kicked out. Tik- TikTok is super interesting. Super interesting. Martin, do you have any update from Spain about TikTok?
Well, really, my area of expertise is more B2B, and even though many companies are starting to try some things on TikTok, they are always working on the brand and not so much on the demand gen
Yeah.
areas. So yeah, I think to be able to be in TikTok, you really need to be uh, uh, kind of up there in the maturity curve. You must be really be good at doing many other things before that, I think.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. It was interesting to me that I have a client. He is starting to doing TikToks, and he's a doctor. Um, aesthetic is the face lip and stuff like that to improve the view of the person. And they are doing TikTok, and I was like, wow. And I said, why you started to doing TikTok? Because my target is such and such age of people in such and such area, and I started to do TikTok because I know that and it's true. And my support with this client is not about social media or social selling. My support with the client is management consulting. And it was very interesting to see this TikTok because they're really happy people and they are showing so you can also because they do breast augmentation and they have a very well positioned brand, they advise their clients to TikTok. It's it's a different world. It's a totally different arena. So it's interesting to explore. Then we have Clubhouse. Again, as an Instagram, you have to build a following. What is the big difference with Clubhouse? You don't have the face exposure, okay? But you have to manage very, very well how you talk because with the virtual situation that we have been living in the last 2 years, many people thought that talking and moving as we used to do on the face to face could be continued that way. It's a no way, Jose. You have to have a nice and very welcoming voice and create your personality on Clubhouse, and in that way send the traffic to maybe your Instagram profile or other profile that you might have in another social media. Reddit. Reddit is amazing. You can find whatever you can imagine of it. But the best way to work on Reddit is sponsored headlines. It's really interesting how it's working. Another place which is not many people use, but I really started to like it, is Zoom Info. In the United States, you can find information about business, corporations, small business, whoever has created a corporation or a company in any place in the um, public database that the states has in United States, you're gonna find that information on some info. It's really interesting. You can have some information on free information, and then you can pay to have access and get more information there. And the last but not least is Data Act, which is the Expert Finance USA, which is an amazing tool. And I totally recommend that you have the opportunity to participate in any of the webinars that the library, Bravo Library does on this tool, definitely go there and take it. If you have the buyer persona and you can define where are the buyer persona, or in my case, I'm looking for companies with such and such revenue. I get the information, I look for a specific vertical, and that specific vertical in specific areas, and from that specific areas, who is the CEO, who is the CIO, who is the marketing manager. All the information is on Reference USA. It's amazing. This information is for the people who have the access to the Bravo library, and it's super, super interesting to get into. Let's move to tools. Tools. Okay, many. Okay, but if you are working on digital products, mainly is the one-page lead generation, lead capture. The email marketing is still working, but you have to be very, very cautious on the headline and the content. Let me give you an example. If you put some word like free in an email and you are not registered as a user for that um, email client, the reading of the email client, sometimes some specific words are considered spam. And so you're not going to go to the real inbox, you're going to go to the spam inbox. So that is something that you have to be very aware about what kind of word, the wording in your email. But definitely the lead generation on lead magnets or lead captures on one page really works. Email address find. I imagine that many of you have been checking some website in incognito. Okay, you can go to a specific tool and get the information about emails from the email address find as well. There are tools for wherever you can imagine information technology and internet, you can find a tool. Prospecting and outreach tools. In the United States, and this is an international database, the DMV Hoover is huge database, and sometimes if you want to sell to the government to source federal contracts, you have to have the number, the DMV number. To have the DMV number, you have to fill out a huge and very large information form. So the access to that database, as soon as you have the number, you have access to that, you can get the information about other companies like you or many others with the information of Hoover as well. Depending on the level of payment, you're going to have access to more deeper information. Let's say the CEO of the company, everyone might know the CEO of any company, but what about the procurement? What about marketing? So if you have different payments, different levels of agreement with the DMV Hoover, you're going to have different access to the information there. Datanize, another interesting tool to prospecting and outreach, and lead forensic is another tool. Lead forensic is more, remember that we were talking about when you go into a website with incognito? Okay, the lead forensic is another tool interesting to work with incognito. CRM tools. Martin is going to give us a big picture about what is going on with HubSpot, and then we have another kid and working in the neighborhood, which is Soho, and there is another interesting. I'm talking. There are many. Okay, there are many CRM tools. I'm going to give you just the 3 or 4 that are really more well positioned in the market. Microsoft has a CRM tool, IBM has a CRM tool, but in our business, one of the most common CRM tools, HubSpot, Soho, and Pardot from Salesforce. Salesforce is huge organization and interesting software, and this software also has a CRM tool, sales tool, which is a mix between CRM and sales tool, is the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I might say that the Sales Navigator is more a lead generation tool than a sales tool. Why? Because the sales is up to you. You might have a lot of tools, but you close the sale. You close the deal. LinkedIn doesn't close anything. Communication tools, call page, advertising tools, many, but a tool is very well recommended. To recap, now we have the definition of the buyer persona. We know what is lead generation. Now the process on this is led from strangers that I have there. I have to attract visitors to my website or to my fan page or wherever I want to do it. I have a lead. I have to go to the process to convert. Convert is close the sale. From lead, we have customers now. And this is the CRM where we are going to work with customers now. And then we are going to delight our new customers. Okay. This is a blueprint from the Facebook lead generation to the revenue generation, which is here. After we did all this, passing through the different stages. Time, maybe in the small business, 3 months, 2 months. In the big companies, with a lot of machinery helping us, business enabler, procurement, maybe 2 or 3 months from the beginning to the end when we can put the sale on the revenue on the pipeline. But still, the lead generation in any company is a must. It's really a must. I do lead generation, Martin does lead generation, the library does lead generation. Everyone does lead generation today. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter the tool. But if we want to continue having revenue, we have to have a lead and potential clients a lead. Now, before going to Martin, we have been here for more than 30 minutes. So please, if you're in your office, stand up and stretch. Please do that because the conversation with Martin is going to be super awesome. If you're driving, just with one hand, keep your well, and the other hand, keep two fingers and do this in the middle of your eyebrows, okay? Do it 10 times. This is going to give you more air and it's going to make you more awake because I know you have been all day working, maybe participating in many webinars and many things. So please wake up and do this. I love to do this all the time. And let me go to the next. Next. What is next? Before Martin, what is next? Connect with me on LinkedIn, Patricia Mónica Ojeda. If you are in a screen, pick up your phone and check my QR code. You have my QR code. Then my email is info@pmobusiness.com. Because I was able and happy to be able to recover for a stage 4 cancer, very deadly cancer in just 4 months, I'm starting a new, it's not an startup, it's another way to help people, which is PMO, Attitude and Wellbeing, Actitud and Bienestar, y Bienestar en español. And please follow me on my journey. I already posted the picture for the crazy journey, and now I have the picture of what I'm doing and helping other people to go through this incredible experience that it was go through the cancer situation. And as always, everyone on the station business or attendees to my webinars or trainings, if you have a one-on-one session or packages depending on your needs, you always have the 15% off on every of my services. Now, without further ado, Martin, this is you. Do you have I have my cat. The thing that working from home is you have your cat. I have my cat, no dogs, because my cat working around me. Martin, can you share your screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Do I have to stop sharing?
I'm not sure if I need to make Martin the presenter. Should I try doing that? Because I know you're a presenter right now.
I'm
Let
stop
me
sharing.
give it a shot.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
I'm seeing both of your screens on the same time now, basically equal equal space on the screen. I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to go or not, but
Let me.
Are you still seeing mine?
oh, okay. Now I can see Martin's screen.
Okay, perfect.
I think we're good.
Oh, okay. I added a few slides because of what you said before, Patricia. So let's see how it goes.
Okay.
File. Oh no. Where's the presentation button? Yeah, now we got it. So, hi everyone. This is Martin. I wanted to talk about today of like I would like to say like an evolution around what is lead generation. And lead generation is really something very different, very process oriented and systematic when it is done around your CRM. Okay, so this is me. A few things about me is I've been doing this for a long time right now, 14 years in with HubSpot is like a lot. And so today even HubSpot recommend us to even new agencies for us to train them. And that's like a great thing to do. You know, you're maybe when I was starting out 10 years ago, I was like hiding my stuff and not sharing everything. And now we have come to this idea that sharing everything is the way to go. So this is great. So please, if you have questions around whatever I'm saying right now, or even afterwards, you can write to me. I'm going to leave you with my LinkedIn account and my email. Also, if you go to the HubSpot community, you're probably going to get responses from us there. We are most active. What other thing? I like to run and actually do long runs in the mountains. And it's kind of the same thing with when you're working with processes. You know, you cannot expect processes to work immediately. You need to train them. You need to work around them. You need to train your teams to work with them. And it's really less about the sprint run and more about the long run. Everything that I'm going to tell you today. So right now we are super specialized. I don't think there are bad CRMs around there, although some are probably better suited to some people or companies. But we really specialize in HubSpot, and that's all we do. That is really great for our customers because we are really efficient with their time. And you know, really know our way around the product. So if you are new to HubSpot, you usually start, there are many resources out there, which are even free, but usually we add value in like being your guide to save you time and money, at least. And if you have been running HubSpot for like a long time, you need someone who really understands how to build funnels, not just draw that in a board. You know, the mechanics of how that each piece of software connects to each other and what actions connect to other actions are great in Blackboard, but not really easy to get them done with technology. So yeah, that's enough of our journey here. So what is lead generation? If there's any question, please, Patricia, let me know. I'm not sure how can I check that while speaking. So please let me know. Well, lead generation, we used to think lead generation is more like the upper side of this slide, which is like a simple process, left to right. Someone we don't know find us through marketing and then become a prospect. And then we can sell them something, of course, and they will become happy customers. If we are able to service them well, they will recommend us and become an evangelist or a promoter of our brand and our products. So that's how we used to look at things. It's really a model. Reality is much more complex, as you all know. You know, it's more, reality is more like the part at the bottom where the path is not so clear. You cannot even measure everything that's out there. I myself, I know it because I may go to a bookstore, see a title, look that up in my Kindle, and later send that to WhatsApp to a couple of friends and ask for referrals. And then maybe at night, I would enter into my account and buy that with one click. And it seems like nothing happened, but it was like magic. One click, buy, magic. So there's no attribution, no nothing around that sale. So yeah, reality is really much more complicated. And even though we're going to try to get better metrics and understand the buyer journey and really provide a good experience, we really must accept the fact that it's going to be an approximation of the reality. It's not going to be, you know, the real truth, if you know what I mean. So 3 ideas that I wanted to share with you around what it's like working today with a CRM. First of all, I'm going to talk about channels. And the reason I'm going to talk about channels is that because we usually start thinking about them. We start thinking about TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn, and not so much about what we want to say and who to tell it to. And then I'm going to talk about the CRM, why do we even need a CRM, really? Can't I just use spreadsheets? And maybe you can, I don't know, depends on your organization or the complexity of your processes and how many people there are there, and how many manual tasks do you want to keep doing? And then operations, because again, the role of the CRM is going to be like an operating system for your company and your sales operations and your marketing operations. So operations really stands for how many processes are we running on our CRM? and how do they connect to each other, right? So starting with channels. Yeah, what I said before, we are used to thinking, we start thinking about the channels instead of capturing demand or lead generation, which is really two different things. And I think I'm going to explain that in a couple of more minutes. So capturing demand is much more than placing an ad on an ad network, sending an email, or publishing to social media and creating blog posts for your company to be found on Google organically. So yeah, this is what I hear a lot as an, I don't know, maybe an ex-agency. We don't really think about us as an agency anymore, more like a system process consultants and such. We hear a lot about, let's do a campaign, let's do an email campaign. Sure, see, SEO is, we are doing that already. We have been doing it for 2 years. We are not seeing so much result there anymore, but we are doing it. And let's do Facebook, of course. How can we not do Facebook and TikTok and LinkedIn and put some more money, which is like putting, throwing gas into fire, basically. And this is what we do when we are doing lead generation. We are collecting data into spreadsheets. All right. And we end up, if you, I don't know how many of you maybe hired an agency to do ads for you. They usually deliver spreadsheets with data, people who filled out a form. And you end up having like lots of spreadsheets. And those spreadsheets have duplicate data because maybe the same person who converted through a Facebook channel did so on a LinkedIn channel or a website form. And you start to have lots of problems because the way companies used to work with spreadsheets was like adding another column and checking each contact to see if they have replied after sending them an email or a sales follow-up. And this process, even though it can work, it really doesn't scale. So it's up to you, of course. If you are receiving like 5 leads a day, you can manage with a spreadsheet. But if you're growing or you plan to grow about much more about that, you're going to have problems. And if you're trying to feed off leads into your sales teams with a spreadsheet, you're going to have serious problems. So this is what you end up having, like data, like on the left box here. And data really means nothing without, or it's not that it means nothing, but it really, you should put in the effort to try to connect these dots and try to get meaning out of this and get context out of this, and maybe try to guess and be smart about what was the person who contacted us, or I don't know, who visited our website or downloaded something, trying to think about, or what do they wanted in the first place. So trying to sort data in an Excel spreadsheet is going to be really difficult. And again, if there are more than one spreadsheet, it's awful. Companies tend to have ERPs made out of spreadsheets, and it's terrible. So yeah, much of the work we have is like to eliminate every Excel file that we find in our companies, in our clients. So yeah, the idea is the CRM is going to allow you to transform data into something you can use much faster. This is what I was adding while Patricia was talking about. because yeah, there are many CRMs out there, and today HubSpot was named, like, I believe for the second or third year in a row, like the best CRM out there. It started being like the best CRM for small companies, and now it grew itself out of that shell, and you know, it's out here, top leader. Even, you know, you can see Soho here, Salesforce here. This is Active Campaign. Yeah, so many out there right now, but yeah, it's kind of alone out there. So if you're thinking about one CRM and you want the safe choice, starting with HubSpot is a safe choice. And one of the reasons is because it is built a little different. And this is, you know, coming back to the this journey, which is less of a straight line and more like this. You may be able to do with other products what you are going to be able to with the HubSpot, but you want to find yourself integrating a lot of technologies and having a hard time making them work for you. While using HubSpot is going to be so much like seamless and easy. So yeah. Sometimes HubSpot like to say this build for you is when you use WordPress instead of building this. You know, in HubSpot you can also publish your website. Instead of using Intercom, you just use HubSpot. For automation, instead of using Autopilot. These are like tools from, I don't know, 5 or 10 years ago, you know? So you don't need any of these tools anymore. And they may seem cheaper at the start of the line, you know, when you're starting to do your investigation. Maybe they are, if you are considered of using just one of them, but when you start creating your system, you know, their prices grow also. And other companies like this one right here, their strategy was to grow like buying other companies. So you don't really feel like you're using one product. You feel like you're using many. And of course, this option is more expensive.
The integration is not so transparent.
Sorry?
The integration is not so clear today when you work with Salesforce and the different tools. There are still having some hiccups.
Yeah. So yeah, there are many. If you look in LinkedIn, there are many people that advocating for my number one job in this world is to, you know, migrate people from Salesforce into HubSpot. There are many people saying that right now. And you don't need to be a fanatic, but it really is easier to get started. And, you know, software always is going to get complex because your processes are going to get complex in the inside, but maybe you don't need a complex system. You know, customers that have complex system maybe have like 100 sales reps out there and many people, you know, working in between.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So what is the benefit of if I had to say, like, in very few lines, what is the benefit of having a CRM for your business? Well, first, a single source of truth, meaning you don't need to go into Google Analytics. You don't need to go over 3 Excels or more to know who converted into what, who asked what. The idea of having like a centralized database with everything in one place is super sexy, if you know what I mean. It's easier. It's less time for you. It's easier to see what our efforts are returning in terms of results. So yeah, and in the past, as I showed you before, you may had a CRM, but you also needed like a marketing system with all those tools to, you know, get data, to connect with Facebook, to connect with LinkedIn, to connect with. The idea today is more of the CRM has to do it all. and this is what HubSpot does. And in the center, HubSpot started not showing they abandoned the idea of a funnel. The funnel was that thing we thought about, which is often draw like a V, where on the top you get leads and on the bottom you like poop customers. That is not the idea anymore. The idea today is creating like a wheel, because these processes of marketing, sales, and service our customers is really circular,
Mhm.
and they are connected, and they should be connected, and they generate inertia, and that's why this wheel is often shown, going round and round. So yeah, connecting all these processes and on the same tool you don't get any better than that. This is going to be your greatest database ever.
Perfect. We're almost running out of time.
So yeah, but to sum it up here, the old way of doing things was like doing lead management to lead generation to create MQLs, like trying to get volumes of people interested. But today, what we really want is a system to help us really qualify those people. Take our time creating pockets of different people in different places, and doing all this work of connecting the dots from data into information for you to be smart about your decisions on how you are capturing demand today. All right. So
Okay,
I don't know,
Martin,
if you
how the
want,
people
you
can
can.
do to connect with you? Because Frank is about to cut the session.
We've got about 10, 15 minutes. Technically, the library starts to close in about 15 minutes, so I know I'm going to have to leave one way or another, either through WebEx or through the security guards here. But
Don't worry.
yeah, we've got about 10 minutes, so if anybody has any questions or you guys want to wrap up, just feel free to let me know. In advance, let me just say thank you all for coming here. And thanks to Martin and Patricia for doing a great service for our library here, our public library. We always value the expertise of our presenters. And I put a survey link in the chat here. And if you want the recording, I don't know if it automatically sends it out or not. Also, as a chat message, basically just send an email to creationstationbusiness@broward.org, or just message me on LinkedIn and just ask for the recording, because I'm not sure if it actually automatically sends it out or not. So
And if
thank
you
you all for
want to connect
coming, and
with,
I'll let everyone wrap it up here.
okay, Martin, if the people want to connect with you, please say your email.
Here it is on the screen. It's Martin or Marin at andymall.com. It's very easy. And on LinkedIn, you are going to find me with the same name, the same face. Don't worry about it. And yeah, one last thing I wanted to say is, if you are struggling with Excel right now, try HubSpot. It's free. It starts free anyways. So you can download it, use it, whatever. You don't need to wait for anyone to try it. I encourage that you to do it. All right.
Perfect. Thank you, Martin. So I guess we are going to have you in another session maybe in the future, just dedicated to HubSpot. I really appreciate your support with this webinar today, and we have to talk later on. Thank you everyone for attending to this webinar. If you have product to attend, remember we are going to put the webinar online, and see you soon. Thank you.
Hi guys. I'm going to turn off the recording in a minute, and then I'm going to be here for about 5 more minutes in case you have any other questions for me. But yeah, please contact our presenters for any questions. And just as an aside, I've been working the co-working space here for 5 years, and I've always heard that HubSpot is a great at least if nothing else, a great entry level free way to do to start any kind of customer management that you have, basically for plugging in customers and keeping track of them and contacting them and so forth. I've seen in a lot of startup forums that it's always recommended for their great free level. And then when you outgrow that, it's kind of like our co-working space here at the library. We have a free co-working space, but then when you get bigger and bigger, you move on to to a paid platform. So thank you guys again for coming. And again, I'm going to be here for a few minutes after I turn off the recording. But thanks again and have a great night.